Welcome to IRLTV. I am your host, Angela T. Jones, and I am joined by Mo Owens and Kevin Hughes. We got another hot show for you today. But let me just start by saying, people be so rude. I have had two experiences in absolute rudeness over the last few days. Don't you ever in your life feel like people just, for whatever reason, think they can invade on your space or your privacy? And I'm one of these people who have two phones, for those who don't know how loony my life is.
One for the low.
One for the right. Two phones. And I never turn my phones off unless I'm resetting them or something like that. So a lot of people I'm an emergency contact for and things of that nature. I have clients, I have people that work midnights in my family, that kind of thing. Keep the phones on all night. I should be able to do that. It's my house, my phone, right? But for some reason, people that I do not know, have never met in person, feel like it's perfectly within their right to send me Facebook messages in the middle of the night, all early in the morning, for no reason. And I'm like, you know you rude, right? It's just like, I used to didn't say anything at all, but I got so annoyed the other day because somebody woke me up, and not just like everybody else, nice long weekend, right? We like our long weekends. Those of us who work at home, whatever your situation is, if you get the opportunity to sleep in, you take it. And for me, I'm just now learning how to sleep in, so I take it real serious because I don't get to do that. I'm sleeping in, minding my own business, and then I hear the little Facebook Messenger notification going off on my phone, and it's like 5 in the morning on a Saturday. I ain't gotta be nowhere, girl. And I'm like, first of all, who are you? What you want? And it's a video.
Was y'all witness?
I don't know, but it's 8 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm already annoyed because this person I don't know, never met in person, is sending me an 8-minute long video. And all I see is this older gentleman's face in the video. And I'm like, the hell? So I went ahead and I clicked the video. Because before I cuss you out, I need to know what I'm cussing about.
I need to what I'm looking at. Right.
I need to know, right? Next thing I know, I hear back in 1946. Ooh, 40 what? And it's apparently a gospel singer, and there's nothing wrong with gospel music or anything like that. But back in 1946 is how he opened his rendition of whatever he was about to sing. I'm done. Pause. Hold on, because what you're not gonna do is interrupt my sleep with an 8-minute long video of somebody giving me their dissertation on what happened in their testimony from 1946, and then going into singing whatever gospel song they're gonna sing on a Saturday morning when I'm trying to sleep in, and I'm gonna get my gospel on at another time when it's convenient for me and Jesus. Okay? So I asked the brother to send it to me. I said, could you please explain to me why you interrupted my sleep with this? I don't even know you, and you rude. You didn't say good morning, how you doing, how was your day, how was your week, I hope you blessed, none of that. Just a video and an expectation behind it.
What was the expectation?
Clearly, I don't know. I asked him that too, like, what you want from me? What you doing?
Want y'all witness?
I don't know what he was.
They coming through Facebook now.
I believe you. I felt like I was
they following people on Facebook now.
I believe you. So he says to me, well, I'm not a child. I don't play when it comes to the Lord. You tell me when you're ready to talk about God. I said, first of all, I'm gonna need you to pray to God for some manners, because you interrupted my sleep and you wasn't trying to talk about the Lord. You sent me an 8-long video of somebody else talking about the Lord. It wasn't even him. Just rude. And I'm like, if you wanted to talk to me about the Lord, let's start with a good morning. How about that? Because that's the more Christian-like thing to do. If you follow God, you're gonna say good morning and say good morning. Yeah, you're not just gonna invade somebody's Facebook Messenger and just start sending videos. And the last time somebody did that to me, it was porn, so I was really like hesitant.
They probably was Christian too, though.
Oh, they was like, well, I thought you was gonna think it was funny. Look, let me tell you something. All the free porn on TV and on the internet, if I wanted to watch porn, I don't need you to send me none. Okay.
Send it to me. More Owens, hashtag more experience. Send it to me. I'm just saying, look, you don't want it. I'm like,
I still think that's rude. You don't know what I might like. You just tell me what you like. That don't mean I like it.
I like it together. You know.
So then today, somebody else was rude. Oh, this was funny. So I get up this morning. I had to make a quick run out the house. No hair, no makeup, throwing a maxi dress, no panties, no bra, whatever your thing is. I probably did that. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta handle this business very quickly. And I was hangry actually. I was hangry, and I'm at CVS with a basket full of whatever I needed on my arm, waiting very patiently for this older gentleman with his oxygen tank to cash in his $20 worth of lottery winnings, okay? I was just waiting patiently for my turn. I'm next in line and everything, and I'm like, okay, cool. The gentleman is finally done. The lady at the register beckons for me to start to walk towards her, and as I do, a man comes through the entrance, walks right up to the counter, looks at her, turns and looks at me and says, oh, was you in line? No, I wasn't in line. No, I'm just standing here with a basket on my arm, full of stuff, with a bonnet on my head, no makeup, and a maxi dress on, just, you know, standing here waiting for nothing.
She probably thought you was with him. Sister living.
He was just rude.
I'm just saying.
He was just rude and impatient, and he wanted to be next in line. Thankfully, you know, of course, I looked at him, I said, yeah, I'm next in line. And thankfully, you know, customer service rep kind of gave him a look like, you rude. And he fell back. No, this is a whole nother person.
That's a whole nother person, right? Okay. He literally handicapped in front of you.
No. He literally, this guy literally walked in as the gentleman that was in front of me was finishing up. Okay. And I was being beckoned to come up because I was next. He literally walked through the door, walked to the register, and then turned around and looked at me and was like, oh, was you in line?
So he didn't see you.
How you gonna miss all this? And I'm looking a hot mess too. He saw that.
That's why.
No, he saw that.
You looking like this, then that's different. But you look a hot mess, you're not.
He saw that.
He didn't see you.
He saw that. I'm all a 6 feet tall.
He thought you worked there.
He saw that. I had no uniform on. He saw that. He was rude.
He thought you was the maid. That's all.
That's fine too. But still, I was still next in line, man or not. That was just rude. So that's just like a pet peeve I have. Like, people stop being rude.
Being rude.
Stop. It's because you may not intend it to be, but sometimes just having a little bit of courtesy towards other people. Yeah, because you don't know what kind of mood another person might be in. I'm this close to popping off anyway. You don't know you don't know what you might have got had you not, you know, been in a different situation or a different person altogether. Right. It just so happens that I was focused on getting things done at that moment. So my pop-off switch didn't switch. It didn't switch at that moment, but it could have. So, but that's just, you know, my little
event for the day.
Adventures in my life.
Advent
in real life.
In real life.
Now, we got some hot topics today, and let's get right into our first one. We actually had an audience member previously bring up this topic, and then it became the subject of some news. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about grown folks that are virgins.
Oh, I'm gonna take a sip on that. You still got grown people that ain't had sex yet?
And you know what? I'm not mad at that. Personally,
they are.
I'm not. They are?
They mad at that.
They mad? Why they mad? Why they mad, Mom?
Because, you know, when you get to a certain age, you know, you be ready to at least pop that cherry, get that over with, you know what I'm saying? Because first it's pop the cherry, then get a good job, then have a kid.
That's how I go.
That's how I go. That's the order?
That's how I go.
I was all out of order. Ooh, I was out of order.
That's Mo's order, you know what I'm saying? You know, you go God's order, you're talking about something totally different.
I mean, I was in order, but too early. Let's go.
But that guy, that's what you're trying to think through Facebook is God's order. You didn't listen to it, so. They're trying to send it to you, but you ain't listen to it. So, they gonna go on Mo's order then.
But you know what? It's one of those things where, in hindsight, okay, this is in real life TV. I'm very transparent. I'll be completely honest with y'all. I lost my virginity at a young age, too young And if I could have done it over again, I probably would have waited. For the simple fact that I was a teenager, okay? As a result, I ended up having a child while I was still a teenager. So for me personally, if I could do a do-over, I probably would take that do-over and remain a virgin. Because over time, look, let's just be real clear. Sex is great, it's wonderful, but it has a lot of things that go along with it, and those things sometimes you don't learn about until you mature, gain some wisdom and some experience. Personally, if a person wants to remain a virgin from after the age of 18 up, I don't see any reason why they should not. If it's a personal reason, religious reason, ethical, whatever their reason is, I think they're entitled to make that decision for themselves, because sex has gotten to the point where it's being taken a little too lightly, in my opinion. It's too random, it's too, you know, there's too many variables that go along with it. And I think that if a person is mindful of those things, and they're in a position to be mindful of those things at whatever age they are, if they elect to remain a virgin until whatever situation changes, maybe they haven't met the right person, maybe they want to wait on the right person, maybe they just feel like sex is not really a priority for them at where they are in their lives, whether, I don't care what the reason is, I think a person can make that decision for themselves without scrutiny from society. Because as women in particular, there is a double standard. Men are applauded for losing their virginity or being promiscuous. Women, they call us hoes. That's what it is.
Who called me a hoe?
I'm just saying. I've been called a hoe and I ain't even hoeing. So I've been celibate, I've been in committed relationships, I've been not dating people, but people will make assumptions based on even your sexuality or your sex appeal as to what you are doing in the bedroom. So I can only imagine what somebody else may have to deal with who is probably a little more sexually promiscuous than what I have been in my lifetime. And even having a child at a young age, the scrutiny that comes along with that, oh, she a hoe, she a slut. I was actually, you know, just with that one person at that particular time in my life and ended up getting pregnant. I was not promiscuous. After that, the next time I was with somebody, I was in a relationship with that person. And this time after that, I married that person. So even just having a child at a young age, you lose your virginity, people immediately think, oh, you're a hoe. And for guys, it's like, here, woo! Go on, get that, boy. Go on, get that, boy. You know it's true. You know it's true. The double standard, it exists. So male or female, I don't see a person having to explain themselves to society or anybody else because they choose not to have sex. If anything, I applaud them, because it's good, but it's so much better when you're with somebody that you love, care about, committed to, married to. If you got a foundation, got money, y'all got things in common, it is better then, because the chemistry, I think, is what makes sex better. Sex can always be good, chemistry makes sex better. Sometimes you won't know that until you have chemistry with somebody. And a lot of just bouncing around, and
that ain't cute.
That ain't cute for nobody. It's like, that's how you get diseases. Nobody wants a community penis or vagina. Like, that's not sexy. I don't care what age you are.
No.
And it's one of those things where Yvonne Orji, she plays Molly on Insecure. She's a 33-year-old virgin. And I think part of the reason people were so surprised at her saying that is because she plays a character that is rather promiscuous, we may say.
So she's a virgin in real life?
In real life.
Oh, okay, like a show in real life?
In real life.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
In real life, that is who she is. She is a virgin, and she has chosen to remain so for her own personal reasons. And she's been getting backlash on Twitter and Facebook as a result. And I'm like, but why?
I can see why, because when you are one way, I guess people like, if this is what you believe in, why portray another person? You know what I'm saying? That you know, because people that's acting, but some people feel like if you stand on something, stand on that in your career as well. You know, like that's just like if you, you know, people say if you're not homosexual and you play a gay person, oh, you're gay now. And it's like, you know, just acting. But people feel like stand on who you are and what you know and what you are. So they feel like she's playing, you know, two parts. Like, okay, you say this is what I stand on, but at the same time, you letting the whole world know this is okay. So that's what I'm getting from it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm saying, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and then I go on TV and do that, it's like, hold on, didn't you just tell us don't do that? But so that's where it's coming from.
But isn't it also for us as society to know the difference between fact and fiction?
True.
Because we pay people to entertain us.
Yes, true.
So we should not expect for their real lives to be an exact duplicate of the characters that they portray, because that's not fair. Because if that was the case, Denzel Washington would have a split personality. He would have a split personality disorder because every movie is a different person played by the same actor. So I think that's a lot of pressure to put on a person to expect for their real life to be indicative of the characters that they play on television or in movies.
A lot of people don't like to separate the two.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you see this one thing, then you see the other, and you kind of think of them as that character.
Yeah,
so, you know,
exactly.
But they are who they are, and the character is the character.
Yeah, even in reality TV, that's the character. Some of them are playing, and people look up to that character, and then when they're not that, they're disappointed. And so we have to start knowing what the difference between reality and, you know, what's real, what's not real. But we gotta know what's in our life is real and stop trying to look for other people to make, you know, things right and how they do things. Like, okay, if they're doing that, then it's okay. I can live my life like that. Right. But that's not how they really live in their life. You know what I'm saying? And in real life, so we gotta set standards for ourselves. So when we watch these shows, that won't be the standard.
Exactly. You know, that might have been the one opportunity that was the door preferred. She was like, oh, all these other ones, I'm going for this.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like
get your bag.
A lot of people have to play certain roles until they get to that point where they can do what they really want to do.
That's true.
You know, your personal life isn't depicted based on a role that you play.
That's
true. A role is just a role. So
that's true. That might have been her big break. Because honestly, I don't recall seeing her in anything prior. So that may have been her opportunity to become the actress that she wanted to become. And she's she got a great personality. Seen her in person before. She's very funny. That might exactly be the situation. Molly is a character and is not the only one she hopes to play in her lifetime.
Well, I hope they can come up with a character based on virginity. Can we, you know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, you had positive shows and family-based shows, and now it's like, if you ain't having sex, pants sagging, selling weed, rapping and stuff like that, you're, you know, that's not what's in. You know, so if you're not showing your boobs, you know, ass getting boobs, you know what I'm saying, and injections and stuff like that, then you ain't that cute, you know, because you ain't looking like everybody else. So I think the thing is, the fad is be like everybody else, look like everybody else, do what everybody's doing, and you're, you know, and you good.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's just like everybody else, you know. When you're doing something different, then
something's wrong.
Something's wrong with you. Then you're not normal.
So Kevin, what would you tell someone if you met them and they were a virgin? Would you congratulate them, or would you, why are you a virgin?
I mean, I have met people like that. I didn't believe it. You know,
because he tried to sleep with them.
No, I think that people lie. You know, they kind of put a good facade up, you know, the representative. And then by the time you get to know them, you realize they're not who you thought they were. You know, that takes time. But, you know, with that, I was amazed. I was blown away. I thought it wasn't possible in this day and age. So.
Let me ask you something before we go. If you met a woman that was a virgin, would you wait for her until she wanted to get married or something like that? Would you wait? Because some men don't.
If it was a young lady I was interested in, I could see pursuing and building something further.
Okay, Kevin. Okay.
Well, I will say this. When it comes to being a virgin, anyone who remains abstinent, celibate, or maintains their virginity as an adult, I would applaud you, because personally, from experience and just being a grown woman in society today, I can tell you that you cannot die if you don't have sex, but you can die if you do.
Yeah.
And we will be right back here on In Real Life TV. Welcome back to In Real Life TV. Now, our current president has visited the site of Hurricane Harvey in Texas, and there has been all kinds of issues with that.
Yeah.
There's been all kinds of issues with that. First, it was, you know, the response. He told the people in Texas, good luck. That was kind of, excuse me?
That's
good
it.
luck.
That's what we saying?
Good luck.
Good luck. That's what you say.
Why you swimming? Why you trying to get out of your house and out of your city? Good luck though, right? And of course, then, you know, he had his press conference, or his rally, you might want to call it.
With his Trump shirt on.
With his Trump shirt and his Make America Great
makeup on.
And it's like, you're talking to people as if you're campaigning when they've just lost loved ones, property, their jobs. Really? Really? And then he went to a shelter with the Red Cross, passed out lunches, and again seemed to be campaigning to storm victims. That's what we're doing now. Whitford, can you please stop campaigning? You won.
You already
in spite of the popular vote, you won.
Did he win?
Did he? Did he? I don't think he knows.
He paid for it.
Of something. Clearly he doesn't feel like he won because he's constantly campaigning. But in a time of need and disaster for people in this country, it seems like 45 has an inability to actually deliver a message of hope, care, and concern. And it seems like he's just more concerned about his image.
His hairline.
His hairline, you know, the cameras being on, him saying, oh, people are happy, and what?
No, you're not.
Really?
No.
Is his delivery the issue, or is the message the issue? Because there's a lot of pundits that say his delivery is on point for those who support him.
Those who support him always back him up with anything
always.
He does.
Always. But the messages are always an issue because they're not fact-based. They are meant to divide. They're dog whistles. What do you guys think?
I think a lot of people look at Trump, and when he says stuff, he's not very highly educated. And I think when he doesn't say the highly educated stuff, we get mad. You know what I'm saying? He's a businessman.
Right.
So most of the stuff that he says is gonna be good luck, or go ahead, Harvey. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna say the things that Obama was a politician.
Yes.
He was an educated politician. So when you get educated people doing educated things and educated positions, you're gonna have educated type of speech. So he's new to this whole thing. He doesn't know what to say, do, how, you know, his wife came in with stiletto heels on, wanting to help people in the water. Like, come on now. You know, red bottom heels. You know what I'm saying? $2,000 clothes on to go help people. So, you know, they never experience, you know, being poor and things like that. And so when you go to, he doesn't know what to say. But good luck. You know, he doesn't know what to do, how to help. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of presidents, they always, you know, when there's a crisis situation, they address it with sympathy, empathy, and they offer some type of inspiration, but not just, you know, good luck. It's just like, that's just like saying you're on your own.
Yeah.
But, you know, with no help. And then, you know, some of the things that he does, I think that if you clearly thought about what you're doing, because I mean, there are crisis units in every city, local, state, and things like that. But you should, you know, be more empathetic to the people. I mean, if somebody just lost their house and you in a penthouse, you know, living good, like you're not worried about nothing, presidency or not.
Or not.
You know, you need to kind of like humble yourself, bring yourself down. And how can you relate to people if you're this guy up here and they're, you know, down here?
So he doesn't know how to, know how to build that connection with people. And people are mad about that. But that's the type, that's where he came from, you know. Because they already talking about Joel Osteen. I ain't gonna get into the preacher man. Joel Osteen, love you. Because I got mad. I got hurt about Joel Osteen. Because I was listening, you know, when I missed church on Sunday, I turned on my Joel Osteen.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't the one to open the churches up. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was kind of mad about that.
Facts, though?
I heard some of the facts, but
we always hear like the news has, you know, swayed stuff a little bit.
Well, he said the church was damaged, and then he said all this other stuff. So, and I don't. But I think people are not positioned to understand, you know, tragedy and things like that, you know, and that's why you got somebody like Obama in office, because he knew both sides. He knew about being white, he knew about being black, he knew about being poor. He knew about being poor, and when you got those type of people, you know, in office, they know they have a kinder side to them. They have a more understanding side. When you got somebody that's been rich all their life, if something happens, it's like, good luck.
And I have to say, it's one of those things. I typically do not know how many directors of communication the White House has on staff, but President 45 seems to have a lot of directors of communication. Like every time we look up, there's another face with the same title and in the same week. It's like, well, how many do you have? Like, Omarosa is a director of communications. Wow. Scaramucci was a director of communications. It's like, how many did you have? And why aren't they helping you to speak better? Why aren't they anything? I understand there's speech writers and they're trying to get him to read teleprompters and all that good stuff now. However, it seems like there's a huge disconnect. It's really like at the end of the day, he doesn't listen to the people that he has in those positions in his own cabinet. He says what he wants to say, and then they have to come behind him as the cleanup crew, which often doesn't work very well because it's already out of his mouth. Like he said he was going to donate $1 million to Hurricane Harvey.
That's it.
He can't.
He made that in a day.
But he can't. He can't. He's the president.
Oh, conflict of interest?
Yes, and there's stipulations on that. He cannot make direct donations. He can't do those type of things. So he had to actually, the White House, his directors of communications, had to come back and no, he's not doing that. They had to go and tell the press, no, that's not going to happen, because there are conflicts of interest. There's things you cannot just do once you become president. If you were still a private individual, just a business person, own apprentice and such, you can cut a check for $1 million all day and nobody's going to blink twice. He cannot use his personal funds, and he cannot. No.
He can't send it to me and I give it to them?
No.
Okay, because I would give him half. I ain't gonna lie. I would give him half. Pay my bills first. I'll pay my bills first and then.
What's he gonna say? You know,
I mean, and then get the rest of it. You know, I'm just saying.
But you know, it's those type of situations that I feel like are always very interesting in this particular situation. Speaking of, let's just, while we're talking about 45 and the situation with Hurricane Harvey, when you have a president who goes and he meets with the governors and the mayors of the state of Texas, but the vice president is out cleaning up somebody's yard from debris and helping them, you know, there's something wrong with that as well. And I also say this, I found it quite interesting how all of a sudden Twitter and 45's supporters decided that President Obama didn't go visit any survivors during Hurricane Katrina, and he wasn't even president during Hurricane Katrina. They said he was off on the golf course, and their proof was a picture of Tiger Woods.
Y'all look alike though.
We all look alike.
We all look alike.
You was golfing with Tiger?
President Obama wasn't even in the shot. It was literally Tiger Woods.
We all look alike though.
But that's clearly what they're trying to say. And they said, well, he never helped anybody from Hurricane Katrina. Well, he wasn't president during that time because that was President Bush.
Right.
And when President Obama was president, that was Hurricane Sandy, and he was at ground zero. He was out there meeting with people who were impacted directly. He didn't say good luck from the White House lawn. He went out there and he met with the people, not the governors, not the mayors, not the politicians in the area. He sent FEMA, okay? Where's FEMA at right now? Oh, wait, didn't their budgets get cut?
Girl.
Didn't that happen like just a week or two before the hurricane?
Somebody said they needed some money and they called FEMA. FEMA was like, we
ain't working because our budget got cut. And that was under y'all President Trump supporters. Y'all just remember that. So before you start pointing fingers about what President Obama did or did not do, first let's get our history right. Please stop rewriting history in America to suit your own personal vendettas. He wasn't president during Hurricane Katrina, and I promise you, you can ask anybody from NOLA and they will tell you that. anybody will tell
you. From the NOLA.
So yeah, I'm just waiting to see what else is gonna happen. 45 just amazes me. He really does. I think it's just comedy in action. What's gonna happen next time on Celebrity Apprentice White House Edition?
Somebody needs to fire him. He was firing people. What
left and right. And I heard Omarosa got fired. We're gonna have to find out.
That's my girl. Hold on. You know she a preacher.
Look, you know they only let her out the basement every 90 days. So
I met her in LA. She's a preacher at a church.
She is.
She's a preacher.
But they keep her in the basement at the White House.
Every 90 days. Good.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back on In Real Life TV. Welcome back to In Real Life TV. Now, for those who may or may not know, I love to travel, and I often encourage other people to do the same. But it seems like there's a, I don't know, disconnect for women when it comes to traveling by ourselves. Seems like typically men are more comfortable traveling solo than women are. And I just find that quite interesting.
I don't mind traveling solo, but I hate traveling with friends. Female, sometimes you go back, you know, you leave their friends and you come back taking separate planes. So, I don't know. That never happened to you? Because it's like once you bonded, you know, in the city, you and your friends, but then you take them to a whole different place.
Right.
Everybody changes to different people. I don't know what is that. I went on 2 trips with 2 friends and we did not be friends. We didn't even come on the same plane together. Or if we did, we sat next to each other and we just like.
So the girl trip didn't work out.
The girl trip didn't work out. It was a trip. That's about it. It was just a trip.
Unfortunately.
Wow, really?
It was, yeah. Because either somebody get mad that, you know, because you know I'm a married woman, so every time I go somewhere, I'm gonna have a ball. I'm gonna do mo. I'm gonna have fun, and so this is gonna be for another show. But you know, you always have that single woman that's with you having fun, and then all the guys gravitate to the married woman, so they like, why she come? Why she got to come? You know, she taking all, you know what I mean? Why you here? You know what I'm saying?
But
I'm here having a good time, doing mo.
But is that because you're married or because you're fun? Because I wouldn't see that as, oh, because you're married all the men are gravitated. I would see it as because you're fun and you're outgoing, you know what I mean? And maybe those female friends need to be a little more outgoing with you.
They're outgoing, they just feel like you should be quiet because you're married, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? And not be as outgoing, but not as outgoing because you're taking they're shining off them, but I'm not taking shine. That's just who Mo is. You know, that's how I am. You know, I can wear my wedding ring and still have a good time, blah, 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 you know. But they feel like, bring it on down. It's a girl's trip, but girl, you got your man, calm it down. You know what I'm saying? So,
I got a problem with that. And I'm single.
So you know what I'm saying?
I would have a problem with that. It's like if I went somewhere with Mo and Mo's other single friends had a problem with Mo being fun because she the married one and they feel some kind of way, I'd be like, Mo, you need to get new friends.
Yeah, see, that's what
because
I
don't see it that way. I mean, I have been on, mostly when I travel by myself. Okay. So I never like done the girls trip thing, but I always end up meeting somewhere where I go. And those women are sometimes single and sometimes those women are married. But the one thing they always are is fun.
Right.
And that's why we are kind of drawn to each other because they're fun. They know where to go. They know what to do. We have a great time. And I never feel like, oh, the married woman in the group is taking away my shine. I never feel that way. I don't. I think she's a hoot. She's fun. She's having a good time. And when she goes back home, whatever her situation is, she's a married woman. I'm not saying she's doing anything wrong on the trip. That's not what I'm saying. But she is maybe playing wingman. Maybe she's not playing wingman because that ain't her job. She ain't got to. Okay, let's be clear. Your married friends ain't gotta hook you up. Okay.
Woo! Thank you.
They don't have to.
Thank you.
But having a good time in general, I wouldn't want to be around a married woman who just sat there and was quiet the whole time we were on our trip. I would have a problem with that. I'd be like, girl, you ain't having fun.
Exactly.
You want to go back home or something? You want to call your husband? What we got to do to get you into the spirit of things? We need you to be happy and celebrate. Whether you drink, don't drink, what you eat, don't matter. But have a good time. Please don't be a party pooper just because you're married. Because you can be married and be on a girls trip and have a good time. It doesn't require that you do anything that's in violation of your marriage or anything like that. And as a single woman, I want married women around me that know how to have fun. I do.
Because when you're married, you're gonna have a good time, but you're gonna have like a couple of limitations.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying?
She gonna keep you from wilding out too much.
Exactly. Showing, you know, going like this and your beads and stuff like that.
She gonna be the one like, but tone it down just a little bit, because you don't know who might be watching. She'll make sure you're not gonna get embarrassed. That's one thing. Married women will make sure you don't embarrass yourself in public. Trust and believe. That's a good thing about traveling with a married woman.
Like I came back, I went to a trip with one of my girlfriends and we went to Miami for her birthday.
Ooh, Miami.
And it was my first trip. I'm like, okay, dirty 30, about to, you know, turn up. No, it was a straight turn down, okay? She went down there, got nasty drunk. Well, first she was mad because all her luggage got lost. Ooh. So it's your birthday.
But it's Miami. You
ain't got no clothes. Exactly.
And a cover up.
But then I could have been mad because we supposed to stay in a condo together, me and her. Why she bring a +1? And the +1 was a dude. So y'all in the jacuzzi, y'all love you doing y'all thing, and I'm in the bunk bed sad like this. You see what I'm saying? But I ain't get mad though. I'm like, it's her birthday, do it. But you ain't tell me that, you know what I'm saying?
But she should have let you know that.
Yes, I said +1. And people get mad at these +1s.
But a +1 who was the opposite sex.
Yeah. Yes. So they get the jacuzzi room, they get the whole hookup. I got the, you know, I'm looking like I'm an inmate in the bunk bed side. You know what I'm saying? Everybody laughing and joking, watching movies over there when we was supposed to be hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
So you was like the third wheel.
I was the third wheel. It was supposed to be like that. I didn't know it till I got there. I found out when I got there. But knowing me, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna still do my thing.
Right.
And she was like, no, well, I didn't mean it to be like this. So we all hung out. When we all hung out, she got pissy drunk, about to start a fight. Now you know how Detroit girls get. We gonna bring Detroit everywhere we go, right? We gonna bring Detroit everywhere we go. That's what I'm saying. And when you say you from Detroit, I don't know why people back away a little bit and be like, you know what?
I say it on purpose.
I ain't mean it that way. And
I say it on purpose. That's the warning. I'm from Detroit.
I know. I'm like, you don't bring a +1. You got me out here fighting, but it was messy from the get-go though. Cause you know what? Before we left, her man knew she was leaving with a +1.
So it wasn't
that wasn't her boyfriend. No, it wasn't her boyfriend. See, it's nasty. She took a sad dude, and her man was there. But it gets messier than that. Her man knew. So while her man, on the day we were leaving to go to the flight, he tried to kiss me.
In front of?
No, she was in the room packing. So now I'm on a trip, got all this going on in my life. In real life. So I'm like, dang, should I tell her after the trip? But it's her birthday. Should I tell her after the trip? It's her birthday. So I tell her during the trip, y'all, and it went completely
downhill.
And you know what? We just started back talking like this year. I ain't talked after that. That was like 6 years ago. We just started talking. Because after we came back, we were not friends, talking or nothing.
Really?
So
that was the Miami trip from hell.
And Miami is hot, y'all.
And Miami is hot, so I gotta go back to Miami. Do a redo.
So you won't go with her though, right?
I won't go with her. No, heck no. I don't think
you can say hell.
You can say hell. Okay.
No.
No, I won't go with her. But I love her to death. She back friends, you know, we got to understand it. I think, you know, her man was trying to get back at her by trying to do the kiss with me. Like, because I know what y'all, he thought I was in on it. So like, oh, I get her back by getting with her friend, you know. But why gotta be me, you know? And so
messing up what you got at home, right?
Yeah, he messing up what I'm trying to do at home. You know, then he wasn't, you know, all that anyway. So but when we, you know, so when we went there, we started having a blast and things like that. But then it messed up because then I had this, you know, on my shoulder.
Right.
And I wanted to tell her first before she told him, you know. Right. So it's always the person who tells first who wins. So I didn't want her man to be like, oh, you know, Mo tried to kiss me on your way to Miami.
Right. And then it becomes your fault.
It becomes my fault. Right. So I'm like, let me get this. I know it's your birthday. I know we at Miami. I know we having a good time. But I gotta tell you something. I think you might want to sit down for this. And you know, she wasn't acting like she's mad, but I'm like, how mad can you get when you hear with a +1?
That's a guy.
That's a guy. You know, so it's just, I don't, that's well. So I have the worst experiences.
Is it better to travel with a group or solo? I know you say you travel solo.
I travel solo.
Solo.
Just
I have been to the Caribbean by myself. I go to South Beach. I've only had one person go to Miami with me. And I've been to Miami like 6 times. I've been to Vegas. I've been to all kinds of places by myself. I mean, I don't have a problem traveling by myself. Now, I do take an annual trip to Essence Fest. I've been trying to get my girls to go. They ain't went yet. However, I still go. And I will tell you, one year, I went to Essence Fest and a young lady was there. She and I were charging our phones because you commune while you're charging your phones at Essence Fest. To the point now they have charging stations. I made that suggestion. I was glad to see it this year. And we got to talking. I asked her was she having a good time, who was she there with. I told her I was traveling by myself. She said she had come with some of her friends. And they were like in their 20s, young girls. And she said, I was having a good time, however, I think next time I come, I'm coming by myself.
See?
I asked her why. Because I'm like, I wanted to be there with my girls. So I'm kind of like, oh, word, well, you wouldn't come back with your girls, what's wrong? She said that the reason that she would not come back with her friends is because sometimes when you're traveling with a group of women, you spend so much time trying to decide what to do to please everybody in the group.
That's true.
And you waste time. Her thing was you waste time trying to decide on what to do to make everybody in the group happy. They don't want to separate and go their separate ways and meet up later. All those type of things. So I said, oh, okay, so I can understand. Her thing was, if I was by myself, I could get up, go do what I wanted to do, and then go back to the room when I wanted to go, as opposed to we got to go back to the room because so-and-so want to go back to the room. Or,
they don't feel like going here.
They don't want to eat here. They don't want to drink this. They don't want to see this person perform this night. They don't want to go to the convention center on this day. And so I could understand where she was coming from. So in that aspect, now mind you, Essence Fest is such a huge event. Over 500,000 people from all over the country converge on New Orleans just for that 3-day weekend. Okay, one thing about it, if I was to go on that trip with a group of my friends, we ain't gotta all be together because there's so much stuff to do. We can do some things together. Like, I don't do everything. It's impossible for one person to get through Essence Fest and do literally everything that's offered, because you got stuff at the convention center, you got stuff, you got the concerts at the Superdome, you got the white parties, you got the day parties, you got the boat parties, you got the male dancers, you got the you got the brunches, you got the networking events. Like, you got a party at the W, you got a party over here at the this, you got the casinos, you got the shopping. There's so much stuff to do just in New Orleans, in that vicinity. Like, I'm talking about just a couple miles that you can walk. It's impossible for you to do everything. What I do, even when I go back, and I've been like 4 or 5 years now, at the end of the day, there's so much to do that I don't focus on doing so much. I try to do the things that I enjoy, try to add something new the next time. But you have to travel. If you're going to travel with a group of friends, you got to travel with people who like the same things you like, or y'all have to plan before you leave. Especially something like Essence Fest, where it's a multi-day event with so much going on. And there's nothing wrong with you guys having an itinerary, y'all sitting down talking about, you know, we're going to do this day, who wants to do this on this day, before you even leave. Because most of the events are available for you to find out in advance. It's not a situation where you only find out when you get there, because most things require a ticket, whether it's free. Even if you decide to deflect a little bit, it should be okay. You should be flexible when you travel. I have an itinerary because I leave with tickets in hand for the different events that I plan to attend, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I have flexibility too, because if somebody I know that's not from there or not from Detroit, but they hit me up, they like, hey, I'm in New Orleans, I know you here, because everybody who knows me know I'm gonna be there. So 4th of July weekend, if you know me, you know exactly where the hell I'm at. I ain't in Detroit, I'm in New Orleans, I'm gonna be there for a week. You know where I be. Call the same phone number, I'm gonna answer. So it's one of those things where, you know, you meet people, or you know people that they know that's what you do. When they come to town, they're like, hey, let's grab something to eat, let's grab something to drink, let's grab a cigar. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit you after the concert or before the concert, or I might decide that I'll be late to the white party, so on and so forth. You have that flexibility so you can have a good time. Now, mind you, I took a trip to the Caribbean one year by myself. It was a cruise, but
5 days, 3 days, 7 days.
Look, let me tell you how extra I am. Me, she, her, right here. So my trip to the Caribbean started in Miami, home away from home for me, and therefore I had to spend my first 3 days in Miami. Then I had a 5-day cruise to the Caribbean. Then I spent my last 3 days in Miami. Then I came back to Detroit. So
you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, pretty much.
There you go, my friend. That's why she had fun.
Pretty much. But during the cruise, I had a roommate. She was a friend of a mutual friend of ours who could not make the trip, so she arranged for us to share a room together. So people who would be from the same area would be able to travel together. But we only really like 8 meals together. But it was fine because I had arranged for different excursions. I went horseback riding in the water. Yes, she horseback rides. I horseback ride. In the sharks, it's sharks in the water. No, it was in Grand Turk, so it was just sharks in the water. And then I had one day that I spent in the Bahamas on a little private little lagoon and had lunch and stuff there. So we only saw each other on the boat and at meal times. But we enjoyed that. It was almost like she went her way, I went mine, and then when we converged, we talked about what we did. So we still enjoyed each other's company. And mealtime was fun. We was popping bottles and eating steak and shrimp and lobster and all that like that. We was getting it in. So even if you have someone who's like that, they'll go their way, you go yours, you meet up and you talk about what you did, and you have something that you can share. To me, that's almost like how married couples do. You know, you have your day job, he has his day job, and then y'all talk about each other's days when y'all see each other. And I enjoyed that trip a lot. And I mean, if I was going to do that again, that's something I wouldn't mind doing. Having somebody that's a bit of a travel companion, but at the same time, not really. You know,
I had a good time with her. And we conversed about it, you know, afterwards, you know, and let her know that I'm not an alcoholic, trust me, but I do like to have a good time. So this is how I want to be when we do certain things. Even now, even not traveling, if we go out, I select where I want to go with her. Because, you know, I don't want her to feel like I'm pushing her to do anything. And I don't want to turn down. You know, completely.
Now let me ask the two of you this real quick, and this is our wrap up. Do you think that the media influences how safe people feel when they travel? Do you think that's a factor in why some women won't travel alone, or do you think it's one of those things where it's just like if we keep them afraid, they won't go anywhere?
You know, with a lot of this, you know, women getting snatched and things of that nature, that makes a lot of like women scared to travel. But as long as you have some street smarts and you are aware and cautious of where you're going, what you're doing, instead of, you know, looking down at the first set of pants the way you are in a foreign land, then you know, you should be fine.
And I will say this too, I agree with that completely. What do you think, Mom?
I think like it goes a little bit beyond that too, because like as far as the movie Hostel, y'all remember that scary movie where everybody went to that hostel, got killed? So everybody like, oh, staying at a hostel. And I stay at hostels now, so when I tell black people, I'm just gonna say it,
they get nervous.
They're like, oh my God, you're gonna die. You know, I'm like, no, calm down. I'm still here, still, you know, and they make you fearful of being, you know, traveling different things, doing different, you know, going different places, traveling different, things like that. And say you're gonna die, this person's gonna steal your stuff. You know, that can happen in, you know, regular life. You know, you don't have to go out of town for things to happen to you. It can happen in your own life. So I stay at hostels, and when people say, how is that? I say it's in the bunk bed full of 6, 7 people from different countries. And do I fear that?
It's like
no. It's like a dorm, a big dorm. And you know, and you meet people, I've met people from Brazil, Russia that stay with me, and usually people are just there to really just have somewhere to sleep. It's not, you know what I'm saying? You're not living really in there. It's, you know, and you get to talk and mingle with people from all around the world. You know, and it costs $10 a night, so hey.
Now, I will say I don't stay at hostels because I like my privacy and I like to be in a space where it's quiet and just me in the room. That's just my personal thing when I travel. However, having street smarts, very, very important. Paying attention to your surroundings, very, very important. Sometimes I have to go and refer to my Google Maps to walk me around. Put your earbud in one ear, okay? Let Google direct you that way so people don't necessarily know that you're listening to your phone. That's a safety. And believe this or not, having an Android device, I can't speak for iPhone users. I ain't got one. But I will say for Android users, using Google Maps and things of that nature, it actually has a safety mechanism built into it. It will track where you are. You can send that information to people. It backs up conversations that you have. So if you are ever in a situation,
I don't like that now.
But if you can delete it. But if you're ever in a situation where you might need some assistance, Google will pick up those conversations for you. It picks up on different clues like emergency and help and things of that nature, and it will start to record those conversations on your phone. You can even say Google, and your phone will start to record you. You can delete it again, but it's the safety mechanism that I feel helps you. Street smarts, let me tell you something. I'm real quick. New Orleans men are a little aggressive.
Yes, they are.
A little too aggressive
and the homeless
sometimes.
People.
Ooh, the homeless, Lord
homeless.
Jesus. Hey, baby. How you doing?
Grab y'all, girl.
Grab you by your hand and your arm.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. I'm real quick to say, I'm from Detroit. I will you up. And it works. So be mindful of your surroundings, and traveling can be a good time. Try not to live in fear, because you miss out on a lot in the world when you do. And we will be right back. Welcome back to In Real Life TV. Next up, college education. So, is it really what we think it is? Is it really training us for the workforce? Is it giving us the experience we need? Or should we focus a little bit more on skilled trades? What do you guys think?
Well, somebody told me college is for the experience. A lot of people go for, say it's for education reasons, but it's really for the experience and being able to experience life more with different people in the world and things like that. So people take, go to college for different reasons. Because a lot of people are born rich, and so they really don't have to go to college. So they do go for the experience and the life,
meet people,
networking, meet people, and you do learn a lot. But I don't think, I think education does help a lot, but I don't think paying all that money gets you where you need to be. I'm just keeping it real.
Because if you really think about it, when you have a degree, how do you know if your degree works? You only know if you're in the job field that you got the degree with. And I know a lot of people today have degrees and work in the opposite or a different field than where they got their degree. So I can't necessarily say that, I'm for education. There's different types. So a lot of stuff that we're taught in school is not, like when will you ever use the Pythagorean theorem? When will you ever use calculus or, any of that stuff in real life? You probably won't. And,
unless you're an engineer or
certain professions use them, most don't. And then of course, like doctors going to medical school and things that you should learn how to operate on the body. That's a must know.
Exactly.
But as far as like everybody else, there are a lot of now there are jobs today that weren't available 10 years ago. Because we had the advancement of technology, social media. People are becoming social media managers at companies. Like just posting on social media sites. That's a management level job. It was just created within the last few years.
Now I know you guys are all educated. It had your degrees helped you.
What degree?
Oh yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. You ain't got no, see, now I know you have a degree, correct? And what's your degree in?
Digital video production.
Now, do you use that?
I have. I was using it before I even went to school for, because I had a passion for it. I was doing it before I actually learned the technical way to do it.
Well, do you do it now though?
Yeah, I still do.
Okay, you still do it? See, I have my degree in criminal justice. You guys know I'm a sheriff and do all that stuff. But, having my degree has put me in different places. Like now I run for politics and things like that. So, your degree and your experience does help you get to certain statuses in life, because people respect it more when you took time and energy into learning your craft. You know what I'm saying? So, but do I think that was adamant in getting to be a politician? Look at Trump. So, you know what I'm saying? He is a businessman, and some people look at, certain things about you, as far as, you run a whole country and you have no way of knowing about being poor, different lifestyles and things like that, and you still became president of the United States, where I'm trying to be a city councilwoman for a small city, and I'm a police officer, and people give me like, oh my God, what have you done? I'm like, I just saved lives, that's it. I just saved lives,
Nothing big.
Exactly, so it depends on like, where you at, and because look at, like I said, Trump doesn't have no experience. He still got to be president of the whole wide world. So it's like,
I thought you actually had to be a senator before you could even run for president.
Well, they don't have that. It's not written.
Oh, it's not?
It's an expectation that you go through the ranks of politics before you become president, but it's not.
Except for
that's not the law.
Oh.
See, if it was law, but the law says you have to be born in the United States, you have to be a certain age, you know, right. You have to be old.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that you have to go through the ranks of politics and start at mayor, become a governor, become a senator, become it doesn't say any of that. So you can qualify to become president by the stipulations that are in place and have had no political experience prior at all. So unless they plan on changing them requirements, that's how we got 45. But I don't have a degree. I have education, I have experience, I don't have a degree.
Do you think that stops you from getting certain jobs though?
No, because I've actually been told that I was overqualified for jobs, and that I was also overpaid for some of the jobs that I wanted. That my salary expectation was too high for what they could afford because I had the experience. So what I did, and I'll never forget this, one of my mentors, love him to death, Bob Mack, and he's a millionaire. And he owns businesses in Detroit. And I was going to college, being paid for by my employer at the time. He asked me, he said, who are you going to school for? This man has no degree, but he's a millionaire. And I said, well, I'm going to school because, you know, I want to get my degree and then I'll get a raise and then this, that, and the third. And he was like, no. He said, I want you to think about what you said, because what you're really saying is you're getting a degree to please your employer. He said, there's no guarantee that you getting a degree will get you a raise. And if you go that route, then what? You just gonna continue to work there for the rest of your life?
Right.
And he had already been encouraging me to do more with my business. And he said to me, he said, I want you to really rethink what you're trying to accomplish as far as going to school. He said, I want you to have an education, get the knowledge. And I was a 4.0 student on the Dean's list at the time.
Oh, you were
Smart.
Okay.
I had one of my instructors, I'm grown at the time, man. I had one of my instructors actually say to me, excuse me, why are you here? He said, you know all of this, why are you here? I said, because I have to prove that I know all of this. So I came to school to get the degree to prove that I know all of this. My mentor says to me, you don't need that piece of paper. He said, get the information, learn what you need to learn or relearn what you may have forgotten. Use that to build your own business. He said, and the next time you embark on higher education, study something that's going to help your business, not somebody else.
I like that.
So that made me refocus, because I was studying business management and I was studying law again, and I was getting straight A's because I knew all the stuff. The next time I went to school, I studied digital cinematography, and that helped me to learn what I needed to learn where media was concerned, where film was concerned, where television was concerned, because those would be the things that would help me with my own business and my own brand. So for me, even with my son, he was in college for 3 years studying to become an engineer. Currently, he doesn't work in that field. He has a full-time job, pays well, doesn't work in that field. However, his knowledge has been very helpful. His education has been very helpful. He does plan to go back and pursue his education, get his degree, and become an architectural engineer. I want my house built. We just, you know, or a couple houses, a couple apartments. You know, we got things we got to do. I have encouraged him to build the skills. And even before college, he had taken classes. He had learned CAD, and he had gone to summer schools at Michigan Tech. He had done a lot of things to gain experience and gain knowledge outside of the college classroom already. So at 24 years old, he has experience that some adults have not had. And it's been of a benefit to him personally and professionally. I think that, however, where education is concerned, we have to not just focus on just the straight path of college all the time, because college is not necessarily for everyone. Everything ain't for everybody. And you have to also allow, if you are a parent, allow your children to have some experiences that relate to their God-given talents. sometimes we push people where we want them to be, not where they're supposed to be, and that's how they end up working in fields that they don't have degrees in necessarily.
They hate it, but they might get paid good.
Exactly, but they don't really like it. And that's because that's what they did, you know. But it's not where your passion is, it's not where your heart is, it's not where your talents are. And we have to stop making people feel like they can't explore those talents because they were given to them for a reason. My son always had the ability to build things. I nurtured that. Him deciding to study architectural engineering, that was a combination of conversations and education and counselors, as well as his God-given talents. It wasn't, this is what you're gonna be when you grow up. I don't care what you like it or not, you're gonna get this degree. No. This is what God has blessed you to be able to do. Let's get you educated in that and see how far it'll take you. Right now, again, he doesn't work in that field, but him having that experience helped him get in that field. So it still has had its benefits. I look at our educational system now, it's just not really geared to really encourage creativity, individualism, exploring and nurturing your talents. This is what you have to do to go get a job to work for somebody else.
That's true.
Okay? That's true. I have issues with that. I worked for somebody else for almost 25 years. Wasn't happy. Happier now that I don't do that anymore. You know, so I've always just kind of felt like we need to be very mindful of how and what direction we push our children, because college can be very important. It can be life-changing, it can be life-saving. But we also have to be mindful that that's not all college is or is supposed to be about. And I want to just also, real briefly, let's talk about Wayne State University. We're here in the Detroit area. Wayne State University, our taxes pay for things that they need at the university. And there's been a lot of, you know, unhappy people because the demographic has shifted and it's no longer predominantly black students at Wayne State University.
What was it predominantly black?
I didn't know it ever was, but that seems to be.
When I went there, it was about 17% minority.
That was low,
and walking
so
around
this ain't new.
Nah.
This ain't new?
No.
This ain't no new stuff? Okay. Well, black folks is mad. No. But considering it's not a new situation, for me, I look at it and I say, now mind you, I do have an issue with the president of the university making statements that Wayne State doesn't have to portray the same demographic as the city that it is located in.
That's
a little harsh. There's a little.
I mean, you feel like everybody is coming to, everybody at this time of age is saying how they really feel. You know, nothing people say anymore.
No filter.
No filter. They don't care about what they say, what they do. It's just coming out, you know.
Thank Trump.
And it, thank you, Trump. Good luck.
But let me ask you this, because you've been a comedian for a while now. And you've been a lot of places. And you've met different people. Do you feel like our colleges and universities within our urban areas have to be representative of the people that live in the area? Or do you feel like it doesn't really matter as long as people are getting an opportunity for higher education?
I think as long as people are getting an opportunity for higher education, I think it really starts at home. You know, I think if I was taught a certain way that everybody else was taught, my mind would have been different. You know what I'm saying? If you're taught at home that you can do anything, you don't, you know, because we taught to go to college and stuff to stay out of trouble, you know, or we're not taught to have our own businesses. I didn't learn that till past 30. Like, oh yeah, I can do this. If I was taught stocks and bonds and how to open a business and how to, you know, do a business plan at a young age. You don't have to work for nobody when you don't have to work for this person. You don't have to deal with your boss. Open up another business. If I was taught to do my own stuff, you know what I'm saying, my mind would be different. You know, but we taught to go to school and go to the army and do all these things, and we're not taught outside of that. And then when we meet these people at colleges or we meet these people as we get older, we're gonna be like, oh my God, you're so intelligent. How did you know that? You know what I'm saying?
What do you think? Which way do you go on that particular scale?
I can't really say that where a school is located, the demographic of the people actually is a depiction of the actual education itself. Because you can have a school that's, you know, like, I'll give you an example. I know a lot of people go to, let's just say you have a degree from Wayne State versus a degree from HBCU or Yale or Harvard.
Right.
If all 4 people apply for the same job, who do you think they'll look at first? The Harvard, the Yale, the Wayne State, the Wayne County, or the HBCU? Which one do you think they'll look at first?
ABC3, just kidding.
More than likely it'll be the Harvard or the Yale. And they'll value that education that they got there higher than, let's say, Wayne State or, you know, some other college.
Yeah.
So, and it's not necessarily that the education may be better or may not be. It's just the perception of what they pay.
Yeah.
Because at Harvard, you're not, you know, you spending a nice little penny there.
Yeah.
But you go to Wayne State or you go to, you know, Wayne County or, you know, anywhere else, you're not spending as much. So it kind of downgrade the education that you receive as if it's not credible as to you performing the job responsibility,
right?
Which is not true at all. So
right,
that makes sense. I would have to say this when it comes to whether the institutions need to be representative of the demographic of the people. I'll just say this: as we just heard tonight, Wayne State University has never been predominantly black in the first place.
Never.
And from statistics that I read earlier today, a lot of the graduates from Detroit Public Schools have opportunities to go to a lot of different colleges and universities all around the state and the region. I bring that up to say is that sometimes we in urban cities, black folks, we had a tendency to feel like our children have to stay right where we are right now. Some children in Detroit have never been outside their zip code.
As a mom.
College is their first experience going somewhere, being around people that are different than themselves, being with people who are from other cities. Whether that's at Wayne State, Michigan State, Eastern, HBCU, a whole nother college in a whole nother state or country. I feel like for us as black folks, we have to let our children have experiences outside of their zip code, outside of their city, outside of their state, outside of their region, in order for them to be more well-rounded individuals and have greater opportunities for success in life, period. Because a more well-rounded person, a person who's been places, done things, met people, traveled, learned languages, had different experiences, tasted different foods, they do better in the world, period, regardless of what color they are. So we have to encourage our young black people to be among those people who have those experiences, because it doesn't make you bougie.
No.
And even if you are, congratulations, because that means you've done something. You've done something in your life. Taste some wine, eat some escargot and find out if you like it or not. Don't let society put you in a box where the only place you can go is at the end of your block, because that stifles you as a person. I've met a whole lot of grown folks, ain't never been nowhere. Therefore, they don't know how to appreciate better things in their lives. They don't know how to embrace something better than what they're accustomed to. They don't know what better looks like because they've never seen it. They have only been where they are. So even if that's you as a parent, if you have children or if you have nieces or nephews or young cousins, encourage them to be more well-rounded. Let them travel, let them go places. My son's first trip, he was 3 years old. He's been traveling ever since. He lived out of state. He went to an HBCU right out of high school. It wasn't a problem. He's been to different schools in different states. Trust me, it makes a person so much happier when they know something other than where they are from. We'll be right back. Welcome back to In Real Life TV. Financial planning.
Now that's a good one.
We're about to make some people mad on this one. Go for me. Go for me. Go for me.
Do we do enough financial planning, or do we wait too long and too late for the inevitable to happen? And then we like, girl, you know grandma died. We gotta hurry up and do this GoFundMe and pay for this funeral. You got $5 on it?
Well, I'm trying to get grandma a coat, so you know what I'm saying? Trying to get grandma fur clothes she wore at the church, you know. So
no, grandma want to be buried in that. She want to be buried in that. That ain't in the will. It ain't in the will.
But why is black people we don't believe in? A lot of people I know don't have life insurance.
Well, before we talk about life insurance, let's just think about this for a second. If you have a car and you have insurance, what does the insurance cover? In case you get into an accident, Now, if you have a home, you have insurance. What does that insurance cover?
In case somebody breaks in or you have damage.
So you have medical insurance. What does that cover?
In case you get sick or injured.
Okay, so now when we think about life insurance, what exactly is life insurance?
Don't nobody know, so they ain't got it.
People got phone insurance. They match your phone go off. They got that.
You insure your phone, you insure your car, you insure your house, but you won't set up
you don't insure
life
your
insurance,
life,
which is income replacement insurance.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things that if you have a family and you know you're making a certain level of income, you should get a policy that's, I believe they said about 5 times your annual salary. I think that's what the number was. I'm not exactly sure, but you should have a policy in place where your family can be taken care of for some length of time to replace the income that you, as being the provider, would have had.
Okay.
So with that being said, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it because one of those things, well, I don't want, I don't like to, talk about, death or anything like that, but it's one of the things that's inevitable. One day we all
gonna die. That's one thing that's promised.
I was supposed to have been dead already.
Supposed to have been dead.
I think it's the fear of death.
Yeah.
If we have to think about it and plan for it, then we know it's more real.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was supposed to already been dead. I was given a prognosis. I was already given a prognosis when I was 26 that I wouldn't live to see 30. Now I'm 42, almost 43.
Oh, wow.
So for me, I think about these things because it almost happened to me. It almost happened to my son where he would have been without his mother.
Right.
And at the time, yes, we put a lot of importance on all our other insurances. Our homeowners insurance, we gotta make sure we pay that. Car insurance, the state of Michigan say we have to have it.
Not so much.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, a lot of us only have life insurance policies through our employers, but what if you don't work anymore? Or what if something were to happen to that employer and you no longer had that benefit? Or just simply the fact that, are you gonna sit around and wait on that policy to take care of your family?
But think about it. The employer will cover you. And you're not even family.
Right.
But you won't even cover your own family.
Right.
But they looking out for their interests, not yours.
Right. Because at the end of the day, they have invested in you. And if something were to happen to you, they would like something in return. And we do have to take better care of our families. We do have to make sure that we're providing. Providing is not just making sure that your children eat while you're alive. Right. It's making sure that they have less that they have to worry about when you're no longer here.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I just feel like one of the reasons I wanted us to talk about this is because everybody got a death date. It doesn't matter whether you know what it is or not. Me having a prognosis of, at my 30 years, I surpassed that. But still, whether you know it's gonna happen or not, at least put something in place while you're alive to make it a little bit easier on your family. Because I love y'all, but I'm tired of people dying and not leaving stuff behind for your families. Except for bills. Oh, Jesus. Because you have bills while you're alive.
Yeah.
And it's sad, of course. But at the end of the day, do you really want a grief-stricken family member to have to think about all the things that they have to now figure out how to pay for? That is so stressful. And it's a lot for a person to have to deal with. Planning your funeral, thinking about how they're going to pay the bills. We have to take time off to grieve, y'all.
Yeah.
If you die, whoever loves you, whoever your next of kin is, they're going to have to take time off work to grieve you. But at the same token, the last thing they want to think about is how they're going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And even having a will in place.
Having a will, that's important.
Please have a will. If you don't have nothing else, have a will.
The kids fighting over the money.
Ooh, killing each other.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not even that much. A couple dollars.
Yeah.
Or they locked up in probate court fighting each other because
probate eat it up over time.
Just gone.
I done went to probate court and I've seen families trying to hurt. Now they trying to take care of grandma because they feel like, grandma about to die, But it's just one person that been taking care of grandma the whole time. But now they feel like, we feel she about to go. She about to go. Let me step up. You know what I'm saying? And always be the person that grandma's baby that still live with grandma ain't did nothing for grandma the whole time she was alive. That want the money, you know what I'm saying? And so it gets crazy when that's why it's important to leave a will, and discuss it with your lawyer. Because we tend to discuss it with family members, and they like, well, such and such ain't good enough for you, so I know I'm getting the house right, So you got to be careful, do it with somebody you trust, And life insurance is like really important. I know my not my grandmother, but my aunt died of breast cancer. I don't think she really had medical insurance, so we had to take on that.
Right.
Then when she died, you know, it wasn't GoFundMe at the time.
Oh.
So we had to just, you know, get money together. We had to wing it, you know, and put money together. Yes, we funded. It was crazy, you know, and we got the money together, obviously. But then that's why black people sit in the morgue for like 10,000 years. And, you know, the funeral, you like, I thought she died last week. Why we have the funeral 2 weeks later? You know what I'm saying? Because we trying to, or a month later, you know. And so, we see the body, that look like a whole different person.
Right.
Like what happened to 18?
White people had their funeral like 2 days. Okay, she died on Monday, the funeral on Wednesday.
That's facts.
That's facts for real.
Yeah.
Black people die on Monday, and we go to their funeral next year.
Next year,
Christmas. Yeah, we gotta get it together, y'all.
We do.
Yeah, it was horrible. We had to come up with the money. We didn't know the own kids didn't have the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Her own kids. And so they were grieving. So it's hard to, you know, they don't have no money, they're trying to grieve. It's too much going on.
Right.
You know, and so we came up with the money, and you know, they still, you know, and when you lose a mother, you grieve for the rest of your life. That's not just something that just, you know, you get over with and things like that. But, you know, because they didn't even grieve to this day. So, and that happened over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, get a will, not a won't. Get a will, not a won't, you know, and get life insurance. It's only $10 a month.
Yes.
You know, $10 a month, you know, and you can find, you know, it's not a lot of stuff you can do with $10, you know, but I mean, you get a drink though, get a little wig. Get fill-in or something like that, but I'd rather, you know, cover my life.
You can wait on the fill-in.
I shouldn't have waited on this fill-in, but yeah. So, but get life insurance. It's really important though.
At the end of the day, we want to live our best lives. I encourage everybody to do exactly like live life to the fullest.
Yes.
But you're not gonna live forever. You may live a long time, you may live a very healthy life, you may live a very good life, but you won't live forever. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, because you're going to leave somebody behind. Everybody ain't gonna die before you. So you're gonna leave somebody behind. Make sure that you're not leaving them with grief and debt.
Yes.
Get a will, not a won't.
Not a won't.
And please invest in life insurance, y'all. I mean, I know that we have a lot of bills already, but you ain't gotta have cable. Why you giving $80 a month to Comcast?
Yeah.
All these apps on your phone. Right. You got a smartphone and you got cable. You doing too much. You living above your means. Get some life insurance instead.
Right.
And that'll
and not phone insurance. You got more phone insurance.
More phone insurance than life insurance.
Girl. You
on that smartphone.
Girl, Metro.
That you paying $80 a month to have cable when you could just get the app. I'm just saying, we need to prioritize our lives and living a little bit better. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us again today for In Real Life TV. Thank you to my co-hosts, Mo Owens and Kevin Hughes. Thank you to our audience.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time with more hot topics, more deep discussions here on In Real Life TV. Smooches.